The UK could find itself going to the polls within weeks. Yes, the man who is single-handedly destroying the country, brazenly using the king to do his dirty work, and yes, the man who almost on a daily basis is arguably displaying psychopathic tendencies, is officially on borrowed time. Now, with the resignations of 4 ministers, 3 government aides, and over 90 MPs calling for him to resign, and Wes Streeting sensationally planning to quit tomorrow, the UK could find itself in the middle of a general election campaign within months, if not weeks. And make no mistake, guys, if Streeting does go nuclear tomorrow, the hard left is going to pull out all the stops. With Andy Burnham having now reportedly secured a safe seat, Red Ange and the loony left Ed Miliband with the numbers, the hard left are preparing to hijack the country to stop the more moderate Streeting becoming PM. Now remember, guys, the Labour Party membership, who are the ones who will ultimately decide who the next PM is, are as communist as you can basically get without actually moving to North Korea. So make no mistake, the UK is currently staring down the barrel of communism. Now, we all know this has been going on behind the scenes for months, but obviously it's been compounded by Labour's electoral wipeout on Friday. Suspended Labour MP Carl Turner has described the mood on the doorstep.
The constituency now despises Keir Starmer. But we know the longer we go on with the current Prime Minister, the more unlikely it is for us to mend with the electorate. We can't carry on like this. We need to act in the country's interest, which is what the Prime Minister promised.
The only interest Keir Starmer's ever acted in, Carl, is his own. And how refreshing to hear a Labour MP talking about acting in the public interest. Most of them are the biggest pack of self-serving you-know-whats I've ever seen in my life. You only had to look at that ridiculous navel-gazing display in the House of Commons earlier after the King's speech. But anyway, that's for a different day. So before we get into how and why there could potentially be an election called, let's look at the mounting evidence against Starmer. So yesterday, 4 ministers resigned, including Jess Phillips. She was the big one, who basically wrote an excoriating letter to Starmer, setting out in public how he'd failed to act on serious issues surrounding child protection. She wrote, "The technology exists to stop children being able to take naked images of themselves. We could make this possible on every phone and every device in the country. We could stop this abuse. It's taken me a year to get you to agree to even threaten to legislate in this space. Not legislate, just threaten. This is a definition of incremental change. Nothing bold about it. The announcement was meant to be in March. I'm still on a promise this will happen in June. I've given up believing it. How many children were left without a safety net in the time we dilly-dallied and worried about tech bosses?" Mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. But yet again, more evidence of the absolute inability of this man to lead or make a decision. He's so tied down by process and, can't do that because it says so in the fucking rules. Well, you're not fit to be in this job, mate, as I think we're rapidly finding out. Of course, then 3 government aides followed, 92 MPs and counting are calling for him to go. And then Guido Fawkes broke this today. Wes Streeting, fresh from his 16-minute meeting with Starmer this morning, has told allies he's ready to resign and personally trigger a leadership contest tomorrow, according to Aubrey Allegretti, of course, in The Times. But all this, guys, comes on the back of a mysterious letter, which Labour List, the left-wing website, says has been signed by over 158 MPs in support of Starmer. But even that's gone tits up. The Telegraph reporting today that, in response, an open letter signed by 112 loyalist MPs criticised colleagues who called for Sir Keir to quit. The letter stated that while the local election results have been devastatingly tough, it was no time for a leadership contest. Sounds like Starmer's writing it himself, doesn't it? It has emerged, however, that MPs had their names added to the list of those pledging support without having agreed to sign the statement. Rupa Huck, the MP for Ealing Central and Acton, said that she was, quote, surprised to see her name on the letter when she'd neither come out in support of the PM nor called for him to go. This is how desperate they are. They're manufacturing a list of people who support Keir Starmer without people actually supporting Keir Starmer. Only in Keir Starmer's government would this happen. So look, where exactly does that lead us? Well, according to the bookies, The most popular political bet at the moment, if you fancy a flutter, is that there'll be a general election this year, which you can get, I think, at odds of 8-1 at some bookies if you fancy a try. Not gambling advice, by the way. So how would that happen? How would we get to the point where we have an election? So let's think of the options. Assuming Wes resigns tomorrow and launches a leadership bid, basically all bets are off. He's got the 81 MPs on side that he needs and a race is triggered. Okay? So who could be in the running? Who would go against him? Well, let's first of all talk Andy Burnham. Reports tonight suggesting he's found a safe seat, or God knows who'd be stupid enough to walk away from that. But anyway, let's dig into who he is. So Burnham was an MP for over 16 years, and for much of that time, he served in the cabinets of Blair and Brown. So don't believe for 1 minute the bollocks that he is a fresh-faced outsider. It's crap. It's bollocks. It's bullshit. He's been knee-deep in the establishment for decades, so ultimately, he's one of them. Just because he walks around in a parka, like Zach Polanski, does not mean he's not one of them. He stood for the Labour leadership twice. He failed twice, once against Ed Miliband and once against Jeremy Corbyn. So off he went to be Mayor of Manchester. And what's he actually achieved there? I mean, okay, the bus network in Manchester, the B line, the B network or whatever it's called, has apparently been a great success, although I've never been on it. But is that it? Because he's been mayor since 2017. He said, for example, he'd eradicate rough sleeping by 2020 and he failed. He introduced the clean air zone, which he later shelved after it cost taxpayers 62 million quid. You see, all these Labour types, they're fine spaffing your money left, right and centre, aren't they? But when it comes to putting their hands in their own pockets, they're not quite as keen. So basically, he lost the Labour leadership in 2010. He lost it again in 2015. He left Westminster, became Mayor of Manchester, built a media brand, and now he wants back in with a huge programme of borrowing and spending that's already spooked the markets. And like I said before, for that to happen, Labour needs to shove aside a sitting MP, trigger a by-election, risk losing the mayoralty in a by-election to Reform perhaps, or the Greens, and ask the public to accept a Prime Minister who didn't lead Labour into the last general election and was not even sitting in Parliament when the mandate was won. Now, some people might say, yeah, but the Tories change Prime Ministers all the time. But the difference is his programme, his agenda is so radically different from Starmer's. It's so much more left-wing that if that happens, Burnham, in my opinion, would have to call a general election for a new mandate. You can't have somebody who is, I say centrist, I mean, Starmer is left-wing. But we're going from left-wing to communist. You can't have that gaping hole in ideology and expect the public to just suck it up. So let's look at option 2 then, okay? So the other way we could very well find ourselves going to the polls within a matter of months is this. The hard left of the Labour Party, don't let anyone tell you, by the way, they are soft left. This soft left phrase, it boils my piss. There's nothing soft about them. They are hard left radicals. Okay, trust me, they're practically communists. The hard left is going to put its weight behind one candidate. You're not going to find Rayner and Miliband slogging it out between the two of them. Okay, it's going to be one or the other. And the hard left will coalesce around one of them. My money is on Ed Miliband, although thinking about it now, the deal might be, because it will be a deal. It's always a deal in these circumstances. If the deal is Rayner as PM and Mad Miliband as Chancellor, then it could be that. There's no way the hard left, the unions, the donors and the membership would give Wes Streeting the time of day. He's too centrist and he's too sensible. So we'd probably very well end up with Rayner in number 10 and Miliband in number 11 with a hard left agenda, high tax, high borrowing agenda that nobody fucking voted for. Take a look at what Red Ange told the CWU earlier this week.
So let me be on this conference.
Oh, that'll be a first, Ange. How is the HMRC these days?
We, as a party, have to do better than this. And we can only prove we mean our Labour values.
What are Labour values and what does have to do better than this mean?
By putting the common interest ahead of factionalism.
The common interest. When was the last time you put the interest of the country before your own, Angela? okay? You bought that flat in Brighton because you intend to do a chicken run before the next election because you know Reform are going to take your seat. Is that in the common interest?
And we can start by accepting that Andy Burnham should never have been blocked.
Oh, here we go, St. Andy of Burnham.
It was a mistake that the leadership of our party should put right.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Can you imagine her on the world stage? God, help us. Oh, God, help us. So basically, with those two clowns in Downing Street, the markets would panic. There'd be more borrowing. There'd be more union power. There'd be more regulation, more fanatical net zero spending, making us all poorer, more taxes and less confidence. The pound would come under so much pressure. Gilt yields would rise. Borrowing would become even more expensive than it is at the moment. And you and me will end up paying for Labour chaos yet again. So assuming that happens, how do they get a mandate? They have to call a general election, and they'll do it sooner rather than later. Why? To wrong foot Reform, because they know Reform and the Tories currently don't have the candidates in place, not that I'm aware of. And this is how I see everything playing out. Bit of a Hobson's choice, really, isn't it? All of those lot are going to be absolutely hideous, probably worse than what we've got now. I never thought I'd hear myself say that, but it really is a case of be careful what you wish for. Let me know in the comments below what you think. That is it for this video. Thanks for all your amazing comments, by the way. I do read them. I try to reply to them all. Really appreciate it. You make me giggle. It's fantastic. Thanks for subscribing. Don't forget to smash that like button, and I will see you in the next video. See ya.